Hello everybody, sanibonani. Welcome to my channel. Igama lami nguNtando Mdletshe, and on this channel siyazifunde incwadi ebhalwe ngolimi lwethu lwesiZulu bese siza la sizo xoxa ngazo le ndaba esuke sifundile, senzela laba phela abasuke bengenazo isikhathi sokuthi bayifunde le incwadi, nalaba abasuke benqena nje ukufunda. Siyaphinda futhi sibuka ama-reality shows ethu ala eMzansi, bese siza la sizokhuluma ngawo lama shows, senze ama-reviews or ama-recaps, siphinde futhi sikhulume nga-any other issues avukayo uma ngabe lama shows sesiwabukele kwi-TV. Uma ngabe okokuqala usijoyina namhlanje, do not forget ukuthi upresse usubscribe button la ngezansi. Uma ngabe ibutton elibovu lisho ukuthi awukakazi uzosubscribe, kodwa mali grey lisho ukuthi ususubscribe. Ungakhohlwa ukuthi upresse i-notification bell la eduze kuka-subscribe ukuze phela uthole umyalezo uma ngabe umsebenzi omusha sesiwufakile. This review kahle kahle bese nginama-thoughts ukuthi ngingayenzi, because we did talk about this episode when we were doing a stream set on Sunday, which didn't work out very well because of the network. But I did make that video private only because the quality of the video was not very good. And this morning I'm getting comments kuma videos that I did about the issue Malwandle lying about ulwazi, and I think people are searching for this week's review, and they are watching all the videos. So people are asking ukuthi kanti uMalwandle akashonile na. And I'm like, no, but there was an old video, because some people are just watching now after the funeral. They don't know ukuthi there was once a lie. So guys, just to clarify, the person that passed away on Umndeni is Malwandle. He really passed away this past weekend on the episode we watched, his funeral, Malwandle lo. But previously, a few episodes ago, Malwandle, the one who has died now, had said ukuthi his brother, the one who is alive, had died. And then we found out ukuthi, after we were all saying rest in peace and all of that, we found out ukuthi no, Ulwazi was alive. Then few weeks later, we are shown Upotwagi. It's such a sad story, guys. It's such a sad story. I'm actually feeling something in my stomach as I talk about it. It's so weird what that thing happened. And so yes, Malwandle really passed, guys. We watched the funeral. I mean, if they had to come and say Agashonang, oh yo, it would be so many people that had to be in on that lie, because the family was there, the ones that buried. So I just want to do an overall review of this episode. Obviously, the main focus of this episode was about Malwandle. I think they just wanted to pay a tribute to him. He did make a big contribution to Umndeni, the show, but also just as to Moja Live as a network, because this Umndeni is one of the first shows as a figure on Moja Live as reality shows, and it's one of the shows really as that put Moja Live out there for the viewers to even know. Go to this channel 157, please go and watch, because we were watching something that we had never seen before on South African TV. So I really think he really deserved a really good send off, just from Moja Love and from us as viewers, Zika Moja Love. And so when the episode starts, they talk about Ulwazi talking about. So they're talking about how they found out ukuthi Malwandle had passed. He talks about ukuthi Malwandle had been sick for a while, ngathi uphethwe ikhanda. The next thing, he couldn't move, he couldn't walk, and then he had to take him to the hospital. And he says that when they were on the way to the hospital, he did make something that indicated what he was saying goodbye. He said he looked at him, and then he pointed up there, and then was engazi ukuthi uyavalelisa, but he didn't really take it as if he was going to die. Malwandle, oh, I think that is so sad. And Utabula as well talks about how he got a call, and he says he got a call Malwandle has died, and he was like, oh, they're up to it again. Obviously anybody would say that, like nathi we were like yathi beqalile futhi uMoja Love baqamba manga. And then Masefona, he found out really honestly Malwandle has died. I think the three of them were really close, because they even have clips that they showed out of Malwandle, Nolwazi, Notabula sitting together. It looks like after that reunion, because remember there's a reunion where Malwandle Nolwazi decided because they were leaving Umaseko for Kulube, but it looks like they never went back to Kulube. Instead, they were just living alone. And then they show us the two uncles. One is Ulokhuzana Usandile, and apparently uthe umalume kodwa uthe umalwandle benolwazi bazi bayingane zika aunt wakhe, which I thought but that's a cousin umzala wakho lo, but ke bebhala ukuthi uncle ulokhuzana ubabusandile laphana. Uthi bahamba eThekwini, I think bona bahlala eMlazi la eThekwini. Uthi bahamba bebancane baya eGoli, and they were not really in contact that much with them. Amasuma ukuthi uma wabo washona, you guys, because there isn't a lot of talk about ulokhuzana uma wabo, and ubaba wabo is absent from their lives. We did see on the show when they were trying to get hold of ubaba wabo, but reconnect with ubaba wabo, and he rejected them. He didn't even want to open the gates for them. I do not understand, guys, in my parents. I always I just don't get lento lena yokuthi uma ngabe umntanakho doesn't do izinto the way that you want them to do, or ngendlela obafundise ngayo, or they do something that you don't believe in, bese uyaba abandonisha, and you can say as umzali, you can say ukuthi, you know what, you are no longer my child because wenze into ethini umntanakho ongayithandi. But umntwana uphume kuwena, and just because they're doing something that you don't like or don't approve, you can say you are no longer my child. Yet umntwana doesn't have an option yokuthi ene kunalento yokuthi uma ngabe umzali for some reason relationship between umzali nengane ingahambi kahle, ingane when they refuse to acknowledge umzali, people will always say, they will phela ubaba wakho lo, ubaba wakho noma ngenzani, they will always be your parents. I don't understand why that thing is allowed, honestly. And also nalento yokuthi enene abazali will be so proud to acknowledge ingane zabo when they graduate and they do well, and they bayasebenza benza imali, they are driving, ingane yami ithenga imoto, ingane yami ingakhela umuzi. Kodwa if ingane zakho are not really doing well, you have an option to say akuseyona ingane yakho leyo because they're not doing what you would like them to do. I don't understand. I just feel like ingane yakho nje, you are stuck with them. Ngisho kuthiwa iyahamba iyoba iphara kodwa ingane yakho ungazositshela ukuthi lo akuseyona ingane yakho. I don't understand, and I think that's what happened with ubaba. I felt like maybe he did not approve of their lifestyle, and he felt like he didn't want to acknowledge them as his kids, but man, they are your kids. It's so sad because he actually doesn't even show up for the funeral. And then we are sure ulona ulwazi ukuthi uyafonela umalume wabo. Honestly, guys, I was so happy to find out that these kids actually have family, guys. For some reason, if family yakubomama, they always, if family yakomalume, they always, I don't know, guys, a lot of people will always say what is wrong with the father's side of the family. Because, guys, the father's side, Nami the father side. Not to say my father, yes, but that family is just like, what is wrong here? There's always that thing. I go to, what is wrong with, you are family, but then, I always feel like anyway for us at home, I feel like if you need to be rescued, uzoya go malume, and someone is gonna be there for you, someone is gonna help you go malume and all that. And I think they have that, because even though it sounded like the baba china, it's not like baby fagasha and all of that, but when it was time. And that's the thing I said even on Sunday. The thing about black people, we might not be there for you usaphila, but we are going to bury you. Umngcwabo yona sizokungcwaba, and sizokungcwaba kahle, which is what this family decided to do. But uzile kumalume bamyalela, he had never seen even la bahlala khona, umyalela wafike wamcomfort ulwazi and all of that, and they decided ngama arrangements omngcwabe. And obviously, guys, I've heard ukuthi moving umzimba womuntu from one province to another, it is quite expensive, and that might have been the reason why ulwazi was asking for donation, because obviously they didn't want to bury uMalwandle eGoli. They wanted to bring him back to eThekwini to be buried with abantu bakubo, which I think is a good idea anyway, ngoba mhlawumbe noma wakhe was buried here. So yes, they made such an arrangement, and then they also made an arrangement ke bathini umhlahlankosi ihlamvu. I always wonder ukuthi kusuke kuyihlamvu elinjani leli. Kunehlamvu that us black people, is it all black people or amaZulu? But anyway, I've seen it yenziwa amaZulu ukuthi umuntu mayishonile, wherever you la kuphume khona umoya wakho, abantu bakini, they would go with uhlamvu to collect your spirit, so that it's just amasiko to collect your spirit, so that bezokubuyisela elokhuzeni ekhaya. Anyway, I think usisithembi naye on her show has mentioned something like that ukuthi it's important to do that umuntu uma eshonile ushonele emqashweni, it's somewhere like for abantu bakini ukuthi bawulande umphefumulo wakho so that they direct you back at home so that uzokwazi ukuhlangana kanti kahle nabantu bakini ubhekelele nasekhaya. So they did that naye. So I think manje bese besemakhazeni they fetched him ke ukuthi aye ekhaya. There was a scene where Ulwazi and his auntie bethenga iblanket to put over ilokhuzana ibhokisi. I never know. I always feel like he wasted iblanket le naseshonile mos umuntu ibhokisi maselingena phansi asithathe iblanket thina siyombatha. He doesn't need it. But yeah, they like doing that abantu abanyama ukuthi over and above. I guess nje it's just ukuhloniphisa ukuthi ibhokisi libe nesidima mangabe umuntu eseyongcwatsha. Bathi-ke ubaba they did call ubaba wabo Ulwazi, but uthena wamduduza nje efonini wathi he will show up and he never did. I guess mhlambe part of him was running away from responsibility. Mhlambe he felt like le ngane kade kayigcina now sekuzothiwa ngizingcwabe yini. I don't know, but I just don't understand as a father not showing up to your child's funeral. I don't know, you guys. Maybe he has his reasons. I don't know, because as a simbone, even that time when they were trying to reconnect with him, as long as avele TV to actually asibek story ukuthi kwenzekalani. So yeah, but they say he never showed up. The Masego family was there. Mamkhulu Dabula, they were there. Nkanyezi was not there. I wonder if she knew. Nkanyezi was not there. I think I saw the other wives zikaNkulube there. And it would make sense because Pelana he was part of the Kulube family at some point. I need to move from Kulube to Masego, from Masego to Kulube. Hey, nabo baby net drama o Malwandle. Yes. So then it was a funeral. There wasn't a lot of people there, guys, but it's understandable because Malwandle kade ahamba eThekwini, he didn't live there. If I was part of that group of people that were close to him, I would just say, guys, let's organize a memorial service. Maybe they've already done it. Let's organize a memorial service. We can't all go to Durban to bury him. Let's organize a memorial service and sit, talk about our friend or our brother or whoever, something nice in Joburg. So abantu bebenge baningi, and expectedly so. I mean, abantu abamazi even omakhelwane mhlawumbe betshelwa nje ukuthi hawulwa uMalwandle isihlobo sethu and all that, but you know, but see, as abantu abamnyama, like for an example umakhelwane wasekhaya mayesho ukuthi hayi kunomuntu wami ubehlala lapho oshonile ngiyangcwaba ngeweekend. Umakhelwane mayengcwaba whether ungcwaba umuntu omaziyo or not, you going to that funeral of the person you don't know. That's how we are with funerals as black people. And so I feel like it was that. It was just maybe few neighbors and then maybe family members as well. Maseko did a speech. Ayi baswenkile uMaseko. Uyaswenka kule insuku lezi udla imali yamakhosikazi akhe lona eshow. Ngiyamsola udla imali yabodabula nabo bani fana ngabodabula bayasileya yini usileya yedwa ayi1 angaswenkile Maseko did a speech, very respectable speech. Bekunesidima shema umngcwabo wakho, bekunesidima nje, bekunetent kahle, ibhokisi lakhe belilihle li right lihloniphekile. Hey uDabula ubengaculiwe guys. The chorus, ama-chorus bewaqala lapho she was laying with ingube emfishane engaka evulekile lana ayibo emngcwabeni Dabula. Guys, Dabula was laying at the funeral. You know, you must not take a break from the slay. The slaying is permanent. To lay uyavuka umngcwabo, iphat everything. She was slaying imlenze beyiveze yonke. And she did a speech. Ayi ubecula ke noMaseko. And Lwazi, I don't even want to talk about Lwazi's speech because honestly, it was sad. That was a sad funeral, guys. Losing a sibling is a different kind of loss. I lost my younger sister in 2014. And I had four sisters. I had four sisters, now I have three. Well, I guess I still have four sisters, but I have three living now. So you would think that because there were others, there's still other sisters, it wasn't so much, but it wasn't any easier just because I still had other sisters. It's just a different kind of pain to use a sibling. And in the sibling line, you feel it imbalanced because everyone in the sibling line has a position. Manzalwa ndawonye. Ngisho ngakuthiwa by two, but there's a role that this one plays, there's a role that one plays. When you lose one, it makes you feel imbalanced. And I noticed that after she passed, even though I try and spend a lot of time at home, but because every time you go home, there's always something that is going to remind you of home. It almost feels like you avoid going home because of that. So it really is a different kind of loss. And also just the fact that when people come to comfort the family, they are focused on the mother because she's the one that is understood to have suffered the most loss. So you almost have to comfort yourself when you lose a sibling. So I do understand Ulwazi, especially because they were really like this with Lokuzan, with his brother. And then waphuma-ke umngcwabo baye emangcwabeni. Ayi makufika emangcwabeni-ke futhi Dabula spade. Angichaza uDabula this time it reminded me of how I really loved him when they started with the Masek. He reminded me to why I liked him because the thing that made me not like uDabula was this thing of him always attacking uLokuzana uNkanyezi. I didn't like that about him. So this episode really reminded me of ama tactics kaDabula ngenza ukuthi ngimthande. Hayi nanga nespade fana emadodeni manje kesha hayi sibamba ngafa nangapha. And yeah, and then all of a sudden Dabula I think ubelethe imbali ethuneni, and then he was coming and then wavela guys, it's the first time I see umuntu mayiquleka athi so I wasn't sure. I'm like, is Dabula just being dramatic or is he really? But Ulwazi in the interview, I think he said no, he thinks Dabula was having befikelwa idlozi. But wow guys, imlenze phezulu. At least they played the area because she was wearing a short dress. Wow, what? And then Nemlenze did the same, like this. I felt guilty because I laughed because I really didn't. And everyone were like, it took time for people to think I bolo umuntu uqulekile ngempela. But anyway, they didn't make it into a big deal, but it was sad, but it was kind of funny. It was kind of funny. Anyway, overall it was really like a good funeral. I did wonder about the cost of the funeral. Did Moja Love contribute? Did the viewers end up contributing like Ulwazi had asked or not? It's going to be hard for us to find that information unless maybe somebody does interview Ulwazi at some point and find out what's happening with him. I'm hoping that somebody checks up on Ulwazi because, like, honestly, to lose somebody that you were that close to really can affect your mental stability. So I hope there is somebody that is going to check on him, and I hope wherever he is doing well. And Lwazi, it gets better, baba. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it before Pumegiona and share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Please watch my video I did today comparing Real Housewives of Durban to Real Housewives of Atlanta, honey. I'm going to be doing more videos of reality TV shows this week because I do not have a book yet. Guys, yes, but ubungakayibuka ifinale that we did yesterday Ifa ngokufa, go and watch it. Thank you so much. Nginethanda kakhulu. Na everything asafuna ukuphela.